Well, good morning, everybody. It is Mark, the prepper guy, and I am driving to work. I hope everything's working because I've had some issues with my fancy microphone. It's running around, wires kind of messed up. I think a mouse ate it. Anyway, I thought it was time for me to do just a standard podcast. I've been doing some stuff on what I thought were going to be or will be sermons from the Constitution instead of the Bible, because we got plenty of people talking about the Bible. We don't have many people talking about the real Constitution. And then I want to talk a little bit about what I'm working on, which is what I will do first, which is converting the prepperguy.com website into a social media platform. And I think I got a lot of the bugs worked out and got it working pretty good. I had a few issues with sign-ups and all that. So if any of you have actually went there and tried to sign up, it might have gave you a little hard time and not allowed you to do that. And I keep checking the pending ones because sometimes it don't do the activation right. Now, that was caused by a plugin called Jetpack, which is a piece of crap. So I turned that off and got rid of it. And then it started working better. So it's kind of almost as good as Facebook, in my opinion, but without all of the censorship and bullshit going on, you know, by the CIA and Mark Zuckerberg and all of them. So I would like all of y'all to come and visit that. And I'm going to talk about some of the advantages of it here. But unfortunately, my gas gauge is telling me I better stop or I'm going to have to push this truck to work, which is 30 miles. And I'm way too old for that shit. So hold on. I will be right back. Wow, this is so cool. I'm actually getting gasoline today for two under $3, 299.9999, under $3 a gallon, which is getting really close to Trump's lows. And it's kind of funny how hard the Scaris campaign is trying to get gas prices really low to say, look how good we're doing under fucking Biden. But no, we know it's all a show. And just like dating, when you first meet somebody, instead of being yourself, we're always on our bestest behavior. And then as time goes along, you find out that they're complete psychopaths. But hey, for the first year, it seemed really awesome. And it's always funny, when people go, I can't believe that person was that way. It's like, well, you'd known him quite a while, actually, before you hooked up, or you talked to his friends, or you didn't catch any of the body language of the eye rolls and stuff from, you know, people. Like, you actually believe him telling you he's a good guy. And it's the same thing with, the Harris. It's bullshit. But anyway, no one cares about that. Um, so anyway, I'm getting gas today for $2.99 a gallon. Yep, 299.99999. So I just wanted to revel in that awesomeness because I haven't seen it that low in a while, and I'm at a Love's or whatever this is called gas station. So right across the street at what we all call the small Love's is probably a penny. Oh, I can see it from here. Nope, it's the same. Sometimes it's a little lower over there. So anyway, I'll get back to the prepperguy.com social media site in just a minute. Think you could see that? I'll hold it there for a minute. We gotta get focused. Well, it says $2.99 anyway, and the date. So I have it saved in podcast history. Let me get the F out of here. People are waiting, and get back to work or on my way to work. All right. Well, anyway, like I was saying, the Prepper Guy social media site on prepperguy.com will be better than Facebook because I don't censor. And, and Elon Musk is doing the same thing, and people are kind of happy about that, because we're all tired of being told what to think and what we can't say. I mean, if you're an American, you're tired of it. If you're a socialist woke tard, then no one really cares what you think, actually. So that's a nice gooseneck trailer. Yeah, it's nicer than X because see, I've tried being on X, and it's really just a kind of like Telegram, which I like a lot. Also, it's just back and forth words, and you can throw videos out there. But I like more of the social way in which Facebook works because you can have a little bit more conversations in it, and you can stop at a post and have a conversation. I'm pretty sure X is that way too. I just never got that familiar with Twitter back when it was Twitter. I just always found it to be kind of confusing, and maybe that's because I'm a little bit shallow-minded, and not all that bright. I'm not bright boy, nope. So you can get on there. You can create an account as soon as you go to prepperguy.com. Now it should take you to a registration form. It's free, and just sign up now. On the sign up form, which causes a lot of people sometimes some grief, is you have to put your email address in twice, and you have to confirm your password twice. And when I was reading up on how you create this and how you do it, the advantage is that you can get a lot of times mistyping or graphical errors, when you're doing things, and screw up. Not graphical errors, but I guess typos. And then you don't get the email, and you don't get to log on, and you don't get validated, and you don't have an account, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, F this guy's stupid. It's set up wrong because he's a dumbass, or he didn't like me. And it's not that. It's just because I myself have typed in the wrong password. So I've always appreciated the ability to do it twice, because then I can see that it's not wrong, because it'll pop up and go, these must match. And you're like, oh, wow. Especially on the password, because it's usually already got the little dots there. So if someone's looking over your shoulder, you can't see it. You can click on the little eyeball thing, and it'll show you the password if you want to double check. If you're in the privacy of your own home. But if somebody's, around you, workers and stuff, you don't want them to see that. And, people are assholes. So you have to do those two twice. So it's twice email, twice password. Then you click submit or whatever that button says. And then it'll tell you to go to check your email, and then you click on activate, and there you are. Pretty much standard, actually, other than the double entry thing, which, like I said, I feel is a plus. And then then you can do the same thing as like in Facebook. And I was kind of thinking, well, do people have to join Facebook? It's been so long, see, that yeah, you do. So you can delete your own account, and Facebook you really can't, I've noticed. Well, maybe you can delete your account, but all your pages, especially pages, are really hard to delete. And groups are pretty much impossible from what I've read to delete because other people get involved in it. And I'm not sure how this works because I haven't really been playing on it long. So that's why I say it's a lot like Facebook. It's got a clean appearance. It's got stuff on the sides. And I'm trying to eliminate a lot of the crap on the side menus because most of the time I don't even understand them in Facebook, really. I just get on there, I read, I post, I banter back and forth with people, and it's hard to find groups sometimes or other pages, and so I'm gonna try to set it up to where it's a little easier to navigate. Like groups will be called groups. I'm not gonna say all your pals or try to be, you know, edgy that way. Just groups are groups, forums are forums, and that's that. Now, I'm not sure, like I say, so if you start a group or a forum, will you be able to delete that once you get, members and stuff? Because they have a vested interest in it. Um, but I guess we'll figure that out when we get there. You might delete your account and it deletes your group if you created it. So I guess you'd want to give your heads up to all your fans. It's like I'm going to delete my account. I'm going to go back to Facebook because I like Mark Zuckerberg looking over my shoulder. So other than that, it's a social media platform, and you got a lot of interaction. I still haven't done the terms of agreement and the privacy policy because as far as privacy, you know, it's a social media site. You have a slight expectation of privacy, but not really. you know and look at you have all these terms of service and privacy agreements with Facebook and all these other things you join up on, and come to find out it's all written in their favor and not yours. So sometimes I find in the legal system the less is more. Like if you enter into a contract with somebody, then there are loopholes for you to get out of or for them to abuse. And when I bid on government contracts, which we haven't done for years, they'll hand me this contract that looks like a phone book in a large town. And they're going, oh, don't worry, only page 250 and 251 apply to you. And then I think there's a subsection in B of page 240 that could apply to you. And I'm like, no, I've been around the block enough times to know that every word in this contract could apply to me. It's kind of like your Miranda rights. Anything you say and do can and most likely will be used against you. So I just don't sign contracts anymore. We just go, no, if you're not paying by a credit card up to this amount and, we get paid when we're done, then I'm really not interested. I'm not in business to be your friend completely and jump through all these hoops and give you a better price and then wait 30 to 60 days or 90 days to get paid. And then at the end of the year, you're not even going to send me a box of cigars. Well, then you're not my friend, really. So I find less is more in the contractual side of things. It's a website. It can be taken down if I don't pay my bills. Something can happen. We probably use as cookies. I have no idea the way, I use WPX hosting and they have their agreements and stuff. And what do I know? So there's not that. And then as far as terms of service, it's just, on my tcoverland.com channel, which I kind of have the same thing running there. Haven't got it up and going hardly though. Terms of service is like, we don't censor. If somebody says something that offends you, um, go away. Don't listen. Don't read. Don't be involved with that person. I mean, I'm pretty sure if I knew everybody, all 300 million people in America, 99% of them I wouldn't agree with. No reason to have a meltdown over it. Just don't hang out with them. There's 95% of the people in my small community of 6,000 people I don't agree with. I don't agree with their moral values, their legal values, anything. I just don't agree with the words coming out of their mouth. I don't click send friend request. I don't click follow. I don't give a shit about them. And if I post something and they jump on there and go, you're stupid and you're a monkey, well, I can either block them or I can have a little bit of fun with them, just like anything in life. You can turn lemons into lemonade. I consider harassing stupid people to be my lemonade. I like it with sugar. So you just, be a grown up about it. If you go into a bar and you don't like the atmosphere, or a restaurant and you don't like the service, or you don't like the food, quit going. What are you going to try to sit down with the manager and the owner and get them to change their menu? No. Mind your own fucking business. So that's how I look at social media and all this, witch hunt, after the guys that created Telegram and TikTok and all that. If another country wants to ban them, fucking ban them. If a city in Arizona says we don't like this prepperguy.com social media site, they're bashing on me. Well, ban me. Not that they can do that, but, they could, I guess, somehow magically make it a felony to be caught, on prepperguy.com. So I don't get it. I don't agree with it. I think we're all adults. And if we can't act like adults, then you're going to get, blocked by whoever you're fucking with, because they have the ability to just block you out of their world and say, don't come around knocking on my door anymore. Go fuck yourself. So I think those safeguards are good enough. I do believe in nuisance violations, and there has to be a sheriff. So if somebody's saying something or threatening and it's just persistent, you need to remember that your rights end where mine begin. And so if you're burning rubber right next door to my house, I could probably call the sheriff and say, hey, this is constantly blowing into my house. It's a health hazard. Probably illegal, not that I care about that, but I don't like it. Tell him to burn his shit after hours, like when I'm asleep at midnight, so I don't have to smell it. Or the music's too loud. We've all experienced that with nuisance violations. You're having a party or something, and the manager of the apartment knocks on your door and says, hey, you got to hold it down. People are complaining. Rather than fuck you, you just go, oh, okay, sorry. If it's after 9 o'clock legally, they can write you a ticket for it. Because there's actually police carry decibel meters, and they can sit there and go, at their house, I can hear your music, and it's over the allowable limit. You're interfering with his rights to quiet, to privacy, to watch a movie in his own home and not hear your fucked up music going on all night. So I think it's the same way on social media sites. If I get a lot of complaints at, mark at, prepperguy.com, and I look into it because I'm always on that site because I'm monitoring it, and it's going to be my new Facebook. Fuck Facebook. Fuck Twitter. I'll use it to post shit and get people over to mine. But other than that, no. So I'll maybe I'll cancel that person's membership. Now, there's no telling that he can't come up with a different name. And, you know, I have, 15, 20 emails and nicknames. So whatever, so you can't really make stupid people go away. Even if the sheriff tells them to turn the music down 2 or 3 times and they keep not doing that, yeah, eventually they can get a ticket. If they persist on pissing the sheriff at that, they might get arrested. But you know what? Tomorrow night, they're going to have the music on twice as loud. The assholes are assholes. Now, I personally think most people, if they're not trying to, puff up their chest and act all badass, about, with other people on Facebook, then most people, it's like, you tell them, hey, what the fuck, apologize, or, quit with the rhetoric. It's getting, annoying. Most people will see it. I mean, we got a friend we've known him for, 15 years in town. And he DJ'd, our daughter's wedding. And the sheriff showed up, or actually the police, and said, hey, can you dial it back a little bit? And he's, my son was drunk. And he's like, oh, fuck you, get off my private property, which wasn't his private property, it was mine. But he goes, look, it's just, the people over there are complaining. If you had to do it over again, you should have probably invited them, or at least let them know what was going on. And then they could have called you and told you, hey, that music's, I can hear it in my living room and I have a migraine. Could you please turn it down? And most people, I believe, will dial it back. Most people in America, out of that 99% that I don't know and probably don't agree with, I'm sure a large portion of them are not rude, arrogant, racist fucktards. Even I've met Democrats that I've had really, really interesting conversations with. And as long as they don't get all mad and start the name calling, we can get to a place of commonality. And that's what I try to do on social media. Talk to them, go, well, what about this? What about that? Now, if they're going to put their fingers in their ears and blindfold themselves and go, la, 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 I don't hear you, then I have no purpose to ever talk to a person like that. So I just block them. I don't need them in my life. Just like I don't talk to a lot of friends of mine anymore because they were stupid. They were getting in trouble with the law all the time. And I just didn't need that collateral damage in my life because I had my kids living with me, both in high school. It's just like I'm not gonna have this happen anymore. Knock it off. So we have to look at life that way. So as far as that goes, it's a work in progress. You can definitely sign up. Now I'm, Mark, I'm the admin. When you sign up, you'll be the little icon at the top. Fill out your profile, get your picture and your banner cover, and set things up so you can enjoy it. Don't be like all those anonymous a-holes on Facebook that don't even have a picture. They have an avatar. Put your face up there. Smile. It's not like I'm running facial recognition to check your name. I really don't care what your name is. The whole site is set up to where it goes by nicknames. So if you're the big stud, then that's what most people will call you when they're talking to you. Now they can go to your profile and find your first name. And I think I've turned off the last name because I don't really think it's anyone's fucking business who you are. Other than, first name. Like, hey, Mark, calm down. I don't know how many Marks there are in America, but I'm sure there's enough to where I'm not going to get confused. And then they look at my picture. That's kind of, small anyway. But, whatever. I'm not worried about it. So you can set up local groups and stuff if you want to just invite a bunch of friends that live in your town or whatever. Try to, do something local because all politics are local. And like I've said before, when I got, harassed by the city for building without a permit, I didn't get harassed by Trump, who was the president at the time. That was a builder telling me I need a permit, otherwise the sky will fall. My governor, even the sheriff didn't harass me about it. It was just my local government violating state constitution and in the name of planning and zoning, which is actually unconstitutional in my state. I don't know about yours. And you can't really fight it because if you take it to the Supreme Court, they've been all over the map so many times that they believe in private property. They don't. They do. They don't. They do. They don't. It's like gun laws and everything else. But that's how you apply federal law. States always have a different um, goal to reach. See, they don't have to. You know, I was going to say something rude. They don't have to kiss the ring of the federal government as long as they follow the state constitution. And they don't have to. It's not because they're turning a nose up at the federal government or law and order. It's because the federal government was given very limited authority to act over the states. Very, very, very limited. And so the Constitution for the United States lays out what they cannot do, mostly, not what they can. Because I think it was Jefferson said that the authority given to the federal government is limited and narrow. All these words that meant they don't have a whole lot of pot to piss in. And so when they violate their authority, then you take it to the Supreme Court. So it's always been a fight against what they cannot do, but they thought they could. So that's why states can ignore the federal government and not the Constitution, because if they follow the Constitution of the United States, they will find that they don't have to listen to the fucking federal government at all, unless it's matters of, murder, things that I think fell under the original Constitution. So, the federal government's job and the president's job is to worry about foreign trade, trade deals, tariffs, embargoes, whatever's going on outside the country. That's why Jefferson created the Marines, because pirates were attacking ships. They're at the Barbary Coast, if you remember this Marine anthem, the shores of Tripoli. So those were an action that the federal government could do to protect the citizens of America and to protect our property, the goods that were on those ships. So I'm going to use that to segue into, part two of this thing. I'm just acknowledging it's a segue so people don't go, God, you're all over the fucking map. No, this is part two. So, I did one on Podbean, and most of my podcasts for Prepper Guy are on Podbean now, and you can watch the videos, and not so much YouTube, because I'm tired of YouTube's. I had quite a big following at one time and was monetized, and then I talked about, those shots that everybody was getting forcefully, and the testing that was involved, and some numbers from actually all the doctors that worked for the government. Let me just put it that way. And so I got canceled. I mean, it was just off. It wasn't even like, hey, you got 3 days to get your shit out of here. It was like you go home and your wife has thrown everything you own on the front lawn. And even then you can pick it up. Not Facebook, but YouTube just bam, bam, bye. Typed in Prepper Guy. It's like, who? What? So that's why it's now called DIY Prepper Guy. But I actually weaseled back in as Prepper Guy, eventually changing a few things as I moved along. So that is all mostly tool reviews and DIY stuff because I'm just tired of fighting. Now I will upload this to YouTube sometimes because then it converts it to a really teeny tiny file that looks good, and then I can share it on my website. But now that Prepper Guy has become a social media site, I think I'll be able to link any of my podcasts right to it, and then they'll be automatically posted. And if not, I can take that link and share it, and it doesn't, bog down the servers with 50 megabytes here, 100 megabytes there. It's just sharing, just like YouTube. You can share YouTube videos all day long on the website because it's playing them from YouTube. You're getting the views and the stats from YouTube. It's quite literally like, you know, you're watching YouTube. It even has their logo on it when it's done. And if you click share, it'll go to the YouTube share function. So it's not like if you're using your videos for some kind of, your forum or your group, and you're posting these videos and you're wanting to get monetized or view hours or whatever, it's right there. You're not losing, you're gaining. Whereas, see, Facebook now is big enough to where they don't want you to put those links on there anymore. They really try hard to stop you from doing those things. So they want to upload your video. Why? Because it costs them a lot of money, but they have servers now that they can handle all that. But mainly because then they own it. See, you've just not only taken the keys to your car and given it to somebody, but you actually parked it in their driveway and gave them the registration and said, "Now remember, this is my content." "Oh, yeah, yeah. This is my car." "Oh, yeah." Wink, wink, nod, nod to his spouse. It's like, you betcha. So you don't want to do that. And so sharing is better. And I don't have the capability. I mean, I could allow people to upload videos, but I'd rather you upload the damn thing to YouTube or Facebook or Vimeo or whatever, and then just share the link, because it's better. And the only thing that you can do, which I haven't set up yet, but I'm going to look into it once I get, you know, the bulk of it working, is you can do Zoom. And there's a way to where you could set up Zooms, kind of like a live podcast. But the difference is the video file is on Zoom, just like it is right now anyway. And you could maybe even do Skype, but they don't have that feature turned on. But they do have Zoom. So you could do basically a live Zoom cast with people in your group or your forum or your friends, or to market yourself or whatever people do with their live things on Facebook and shit. And then you can download the file onto your computer and you can manipulate it and edit it and do whatever the hell you want to do with it. And then if you want to just cut it up into shorts, you can do that, and then probably upload those to YouTube because that's where a lot of your audience is going to be for quite a while, and then share those links onto prepperguy.com and slowly work yourself into being part of a community that's less Gestapo-ish, less KGB, less SS, less Nazi. I'm glad you slowed down so much to make that turn that I almost can't make it. People drive are just dumbasses sometimes, which, trust me, I'm talking about myself too, you know, because, if you were following me, you'd go, fuck, Mark, speed up, slow down, stop for those people. What the hell are you doing? So I get it, but that doesn't mean they can't piss me off too. Um, so America has become kind of fucked up. And that's why I'm going to be doing these sermons about the Constitution. Now I'm going to try to wrap one up today, and they'll be my typical kind of shit, you know, you know, very little research as far as history and stuff, but a lot of what I consider to be common sense. And that's how I feel about it. It's like common sense is way more important in America than all the rules and all the other stuff that goes on nowadays with, well, you're not a doctor. And I was listening to Tucker Carlson last night when he was talking to Alex Jones, which I respect immensely. Um, and he was saying that the government has created a reward and a certification, I think is what he called it, system that allows them to have power, and it's kind of almost unimpeachable because they certify and they give everybody these things like, well, you're the director of the CIA. He's a bureaucrat, but you have this badge and you've been certified by the federal government, not by anybody that ever voted for you. You're just certifiable now. And then here's your job. Now, if you piss this off and quit, you're going to lose your retirement because that's how it works. I have friends that work for the Border Patrol. They've been in there 20 some years, and they're like, well, I can't really speak up and defend you on that on Facebook because I got to worry about my job and I have a retirement that I need. I can't lose it because, when you piss off the federal government, it's not really your money, you come to find out, which it's really not, just like Social Security. So they can take it from you. Your 401k, gone. Whatever they call it in the federal government. So, they've created this system to where they have all these rewards and these pay, and it moves them from being just a dumbass that should get fired into this special group. And if you look at the federal government nowadays with this reward and money system, this certification, and God, I wish I could remember the word he used.
But the point is, that entire, not just political party, but class of people has created an entire economy and credentialing system to reward themselves with money and power that is not deserved. That's exactly the truth. I don't like to swear, but the phrase bullshit jobs is a real thing. Those are all bullshit jobs, every single one of them.
But it's like certification. They take all their friends and they go, you are now cool. You are now certified to carry a gun and wreak havoc on your community. Not like a sheriff that's elected or even the police that work for the mayor. No, you're even cooler than they are. And here's your pay. And now you're over here on our camp. So we have, 400,000 federal employees nowadays that are in that world that won't go against their employer, which most people won't go against their employer, if he's not a dick. But let's say your employer's a dick and you go, fuck you, and you move and you quit. Your 401k and your IRA and any monies that they've invested in on your behalf is yours. So you can vote with your feet. Federal employees cannot. So they buy into it and then they go, I kind of like it here. It's like, well, if you push back, they'll take all your money. Well, why would I do that? Why would I bite the hand that feeds me? It's like, well, first of all, the hand that's feeding you is stealing from your mother and your brother and your sister that don't have that great fucking cushy job like you do. So it's not like they're making widgets and they're making so much money that they're paying you this. No, what they're doing is they're making red tape and bureaucracy to take money, redistributing wealth, and giving it to you and your other 400,000 employees. So to keep this Ponzi scheme going, we need to continue to print money and rob your family and your friends. Oh, well, now I get it. Well, fuck, but I can't quit. They'll take all my retirement. I've only got 4 years left. It's like, well, then I guess you just continue to get prison raped for 4 more years until you can get your shit. But you know what? You'll still never have your shit. It's not like you can cash out and put it somewhere safe. If you piss them off 5 years after retirement, they can still fuck with you. They have their tentacles into you so deep that they're sticking out your mouth from your a-hole. And so if and unfortunately you can't really say, well, if that's the way you want to live, then okay, because it's become part of the social construct, the welfare state. I mean, you're getting your money from the welfare state. It's welfare. You can say you got a job, but it's fucking welfare. It's not a job that creates anything. Okay, you got it? Whatever you do for the government, usually you're not making a product that can be sold on the open market. So therefore, you're not making money. You're on the liability side of America's big giant financial ledger. So if you look at your job, if you just got a job for the government, and you look at it, you go, what do we make? Well, we don't make anything. We oversee the people that make stuff so they don't poison it. And it's like, oh, but we haven't done that. In fact, they poisoned a lot of people. Oh, well, no, that was a failure on our part. But don't worry, we won't be punished and you won't lose your job. So what do you make? What do you make? What do you create? It's like having a cook in your kitchen that never opens the fridge or the cabinets. But they'll tell you how to fucking cook it and what to buy and when to buy it and how much to spend on it. And then they'll read the label and go, you can't eat this. It's got fat in it. It's like, hey, you're my cook. Go fucking cook something. No, that's not how it works in this little arrangement we have. You shut the fuck up. You continue to pay me an ungodly amount of money to make sure you're safe. Now, if you want to hire a cook that actually cooks, well, you can go do that. They need to be certified, and they'll pretty much believe everything I believe about eating fat. But hey, then you won't have to cook. Well, I'll just cook my own food. That's fine, but I'm not going to get it for you. And if you do, I might give you a citation. See, that's how it is. So do you, federal or state employee, make anything? Do you actually create something with your hands or online or something that people buy, pay money to the company you work for? Oh, no, the federal government isn't a business, is it? So no, it's just a giant graft scheme. So if you want to work for them people, then fine, I guess. But America's great awakening is going to require people backing out of that system as fucking fast as they can. Not just walking backwards, but running away from. And the only people that can literally do that now are younger people that have only been in there for a few years, and the money and the retirement they lose can be absorbed by getting a real fucking job that makes things, does things, creates products that can actually be sold on the open market. Other than that, you're just a red tape clown walking around with a roll of red tape going, nope, 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 nope. It's like, oh, do you get paid for that? Well, yeah, from you. Oh, awesome. So what the fuck did you do? Well, we buy a lot of red tape. Oh, okay. From China, probably. So it's quite easy to understand the logic and the common sense of this. And if you can't, then okay, well then I have failed. But my sermon on that's coming up this Saturday, I'll post it for Sunday. Maybe I'll just fucking post it on Sunday. It's going to be on the Declaration of Independence because that's the first thing that we did before we created the Constitution and the Bill of Rights was we told England, hey, we got a problem here. And so I want to talk about the things that they were thinking when they wrote that. Like what was pissing them off? Like I just mentioned to you, all these federal bureaucrats kind of pissed me off. What was it that they were doing in England, the king and the monarchy, that was really upsetting the colonists, that pushed them to that point of, after so many hundred years of writing letters going, hey, what about us? They finally took that step of action that led to a revolutionary war. So we'll talk about that. I'm at work, lucky me, so I will talk to you guys all later. Leave a comment. This will be on Podbean, and it will all be on the new prepperguy.com social media site. So give it a listen, share it with your friends, get that out there if you liked it. If you don't, that's cool. And have a great rest of the week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.
We made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space, and we fall back.
I'm your huckleberry.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
That's just my game.